What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Long Island Fish Guy here, back at it again with another video. Today's video is a little bit of a sad one. I actually started this video with my pike fighting himself up against the glass. I'm actually taking this video now on my new iPhone. It's got the iPhone 7. Always been a Samsung guy. For all my buddies watching this, you're probably laughing right now. And my pike, I just fed my tank, so they're showing a little bit of aggressive behavior, as you can see there. But great way to start this conversation with aggressive behavior. So, speaking of aggressive behavior, my Jaguar is growing, as you can see by his belly there. He's eating more, and he's becoming an issue in the tank. I'm not sure if we'll see any of the aggression right now in this video. Most likely we will. But he's becoming extremely nasty to the other fish in the tank. The Oscar sometimes keeps him in check, but the aggression from the Jaguar is not going to be getting any better. He's only about 3.5 to 3 inches big, and he's already somewhat becoming an issue. And before it gets any worse, or before I have any fish on the brink of death, I'm actually going to take care of the situation right now, and I'm in the process of rehoming him. He might be, and there we go. Almost just went for a nip at the hoplo, which is his #1 target recently. But I'm actually in the process of rehoming him now. He could be gone as soon as after this video. Very sad. I went to great lengths to get him. I love his color. He's an absolutely incredible fish. But he's not a massive issue, right? And see, he won't stop. He never leaves the hoplo alone. He sometimes fights the pike. He sometimes nips at the pleco. He sometimes nips at the cory, and he actually sometimes nips at other fish. I actually added another fish down here. This is a 10-gallon tank. Let me turn the light on. So this is actually basically an emergency tank, or a hospital tank, whatever I really need it for. I set it up as. And let me get this thing in focus here. So I quickly needed to set this thing up. So there's no decorations or anything in there right now. This will be set up somewhat long term. Not necessarily long term, but this will be set up for, I'd say, about a month, maybe 2. The reason why is because I just got a shovel nose lima in the tank. He is beautiful. I cannot wait until he grows, until I can put him in the 125. But now you're probably saying to yourself, why is he in a 10-gallon tank when you have a 125-gallon tank right next to him? Well, when I put him in the tank, almost instantly the Jaguar swam over to him and probably got about 25% of him in his mouth. I almost had a heart attack because this fish was not cheap and is extremely hard to come by. This fish has become my new prized possession. If you've watched any of my older videos, I talk about how much I love my Jaguar. This is going to be extremely tough to do. Let me see if I can get the lighting better on this. My Jaguar, I love him to death. It's extremely hard to let him go, but I know it's something that it needs to be done. Anywhere I read on the internet, Jaguar cichlids are extremely aggressive. Could never have any tank mates, and I really truly didn't want to believe that. A few months ago when I first got him, I didn't want to believe it. I said, if he grows with the fish, it won't be an issue. I'm slowly but surely realizing that that's not true. I've always had the belief for years and years and years that if a fish grows up with another fish, they're almost like brothers. There won't be an issue. But this is going to be an issue. I know it's going to be an issue, and it's becoming one. It's becoming one, and I understand this shovel-nosed Lima is a small guy. I can't add him to the tank. If the Oscar doesn't get him, the Dempsey might. I don't think he can be eaten full right now, but he can definitely be ripped apart, which is something I'm definitely going to stay away from. So I'm going to be giving updates on this tank. I'm also going to be giving updates, obviously, on my 125. But this is the 10 gallon for now. The light on it is absolutely horrific. This is actually a tank that came from my girlfriend's dad. He had a fish in there. I don't even know what it was. It looked like some sort of goby, but it died. He had it for like 8 years, and it died. So I quickly threw my spare. So this is actually my first tank that I've had. I've never had this on my channel. I actually started this tank with my. I knew it was only going to be temporary until I got my 55, and then eventually upgraded to the 125. But I actually started off this tank with the Rainbow Rock, same substrate you see now, same heater you see now, and same filter you see now, with the Oscar, Jack Dempsey, and one Cory. And that's what started the tank. Also, I'm just realizing right now, speaking of the other 125, this is the first time that you guys are going to be seeing this tank scaped. This is the finished product, and now it's a little dark again. Here we go. This is actually the finished product of the tank. I have a background up. I know I mentioned the background 65 times. I got a new heater. I added a background. I think the tank looks absolutely incredible. I got the same background, same setup basically as the last tank, the 55. And I added a few plants. I was considering not adding plants to it, but then looking around on YouTube, I truly wanted to add plants to it. It really makes the tank. What I might do, actually, is another fish is going to be leaving this tank with the Jaguar. And when I say fish, I mean fish is. I'm going to be removing the Corys from this tank as well. Again, another misstep by me, just like the Jaguar. I truly believed that I could keep Cory catfish with American cichlids. It's not going to work. It truly is not going to work. I wish it could. I love Corys. But I guess the closest thing I can get to Cory is a Hoplo. So what I'm going to try to do is get rid of my 3 Corys. What I might do temporarily is add my 3 Corys to my 10 gallon tank. So the shovel nose will have at least some tank mates. Shovel noses aren't exactly fish you want to keep alone. They do better in groups. I know that they're not part of the same species as Cory catfish, but it could be a good tank mate to have, especially because keeping fish alone unless they're monster fish, like a Jaguar, is never a good thing. What I'm thinking about doing moving forward is making fish profiles. I might even make another video right now and make a profile for a Jaguar. And I might cover a new fish every week in this tank, but we'll see how things go. So this might be it for the Jaguar. This might be the last video, and I'm 95% sure it is. Very sad, like I said. Another fish I'm going to be monitoring, but most likely won't have an issue with is the pike. Just somewhere, there he is. He is showing signs of aggression, mainly towards his own shadow. He typically, the only fish he really bothers is, are the Corys, which isn't surprising because they're small enough that they could be eaten soon. The Corys truly need to go, just because they're just too small. I know when my Oscar reaches 12 inches. They're going to be food, and if a fish eats a Cory, it's bad news. So that might be it for today's video. I know I'm hitting 10 minutes right now, so I'm gonna not bore anyone anymore. I think the rest of my videos are gonna be taken on this iPhone because my old camera is just not clear enough. This is gonna be, 1080p or 4K. I'm not even really sure. But there's my Royal Pleco eating his wood. I know this video is getting long, but real quickly, I'm so impressed by certain fish in this tank that typically weren't exactly my quote-unquote growers. My Royal Pleco, I said, wow, like, he hasn't really been growing at all. He actually probably has put on about an inch to a full, I'd say he probably put on about a full inch since I've gotten him. I was thinking maybe a half inch to a full inch, which they're extremely slow growers. But I'm actually getting surprised by his size. I'm beginning to realize that he's actually did put on some size. They can get to be about 2 feet, but it takes a very long time for them to get there. So I don't think he'll ever be an issue in this tank since it's 18 inches wide. He'll have to be in here for like 9 years in order for that to happen, 8 years. If I did my math right, I'm not really sure, but I love him. He's a great fish. My Dempsey is actually growing some decent size. He's getting much wider. I know I'm not going to have any issues with my Dempsey or Oscar in this tank. I've had those fish for years and years and years and years. They're, aggressive fish. I'm not saying that they're pushovers, but they're definitely no Jaguars. My Hoppo looks like he's gotten a little bigger. My brand spanking new Firemouth. I love this guy. Such a great personality. So aggressive for a Firemouth. And he'll never be an issue, even if he's super aggressive, just because of his size. These guys max out. Female is typically around 5 to 6 inches. A male will get to be about 7 at most. That's like really big for a Firemouth, 7 inches. But I love, he's super active, super quick for a Firemouth. They're not known for this. I'm super happy with his pickup. He's going to get really big quickly, I feel like, just because of the size he's already put on. If you look at my older video from when I first made this tank, he's probably put on a decent, I would say, half inch maybe, and it's only been about 2 weeks since my last video. A half inch in 2 weeks for a Firemouth, nonetheless. That's Oscar growth, and just really shocked. And I'm actually really happy because I want him to catch up because he's very small comparative to everyone else in the tank. He's a little bit bigger than the Corys now. He started off about the same size as the Corys. So there's my pike coming in there, but he typically doesn't show any aggression towards the other fish, which I'm happy about, like I said. All right, 13 minutes now. We're calling this a wrap. Enough boring, you guys. This is it. This is a so long to the Jag.